Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e and how to play Dungeons & Dragons 5e. And today we're covering Danger Sense for the Barbarian. So this is one of those abilities that represents, I suppose, more like a superhero. I would consider Danger Sense a lot like Spidey's Danger Sense from the Marvel comic book. So the Barbarian actually gets their own Spidey sense. Now, if you want information and details on not Spidey sense, but Danger Sense, then please turn to page 48 of the Player's Handbook for details on the Barbarian's Danger Sense. And I'm going to read out the section, and then I'm going to explain a couple of things and cover all the basics. Okay, so at second level, you gain an uncanny sense of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you are dodging away from danger. So pay attention, it's dealing with dodging. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, against an effect you can see, such as traps, spells. Now, it's not just going to be traps and spells. Any effect that you can make a dexterity saving throw on and that you can see, you can attempt to have advantage on. That's just how the rule. It's just an example. When they start talking about traps and spells, that's just an example. To gain this benefit, you can't be blind, so you have to be able to see. You can't be deafened, so you have to be able to hear, or incapacitated. So what this means is it's using your senses. So you need to be able to see, and they've also stipulated that you can't be deafened. But that's the proviso. Your senses need to be in play in some way for this to be usable as an ability. Okay, so here's a couple of things that will come up, that questions that people have asked from Sage Advice or Jeremy Crawford, and that is, does the breath weapon, so if you need to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid the full effect of a breath weapon from, say, a dragon or some other creature, do you get advantage? Yes, you do. You do get advantage on your dexterity saving throw against a breath weapon. That's to do with dexterity. Now, Danger Sense only works with dexterity saving throws. So if there's an effect from a breath weapon that requires a saving throw from Constitution, and it does happen from time to time, or any other type of saving throw that's not dexterity, then you won't get advantage on the roll. You do have to see the effect, one of the key things. But remember that the fact that you have to see the effect or notice it, be able to notice it with your senses in some way, has no bearing on your initiative roll or your initiative score. So when the Barbarian makes an initiative roll or rolls for their score in any way, or makes a check for initiative, that isn't going to affect their ability to use Danger Sense. It's only a factor. They have to be able to see it. That's it. Danger Sense is not dependent on the Barbarian seeing and understanding that somebody is casting a spell. So what I want to do is just give you a quick example here. So we've got a spellcaster here. The Barbarian, to be able to avoid the effect of a spell being cast, doesn't have to understand that there's a spellcaster in front of them, that they are casting a spell, so they don't have to be able to identify the words being spoken, the arcane words, the divine words, the magical words that have been spoken for the spell. They don't have to be able to identify that they're performing some sort of gesture that's going to create a spell effect. Okay, they don't even have to understand or be able to identify that they're using material components or a spell focus of some kind to cast a spell. The only thing that matters is whatever the spell is has an effect that they can see. So something like fireball or a cloud of daggers. These are things that you can see. So if they can see the spell effect, they can make a dexterity saving throw, provided the spell requires that, and you get advantage, which of course is you roll two 20-sided dice and you take the highest result and add that to your dexterity saving throw modifier. Okay, so next let's talk about traps. That's another thing that tends to come up. So how do traps work with regard to danger sense? Much like Spidey, you don't, as I said, you don't need to worry about the timing on a trap. So don't get caught up with timing. Just assume that the Barbarian's reaction time is so fast, that's why they get advantage on the dexterity saving throw. So you don't need to worry about timing, you don't need to worry about speed. It's only important with regard to a trap, any kind of trap, that they can see it and perceive it in some way, even if the time frame is very, very short. So seeing the floor drop away from underneath them, where they would drop into a pit trap, if there's an opportunity to make a dexterity saving throw, well, they can see the floor drop away or the reeds fall away underneath them. Then they can make a dexterity saving throw with advantage. If there are darts flying out of the walls here, these are darts that you can see it, unless of course they're microscopic. Okay, if they're not microscopic, you're not, but they're not going to be microscopic. They're going to be big enough that they can probably see them. Okay, so yes, you can have advantage on your dexterity saving throw with darts flying from the walls. If there are flame jets shooting out from the ceiling or the floor, anything like that, these are all things that can be seen. So and if they require, like I said, a dexterity saving throw, you get to have advantage on trying to avoid the full effect. Blades swinging from the ceilings. What you can't have advantage on is a trap that has an invisible spikes that fall down on you, or anything that simply can't be perceived, either with your eyes, and it stipulates see, but there's also the understanding that there's an interplay with your hearing, which is why it talks about being blind and deafened. But let's just stick with see. So that's how it's supposed to work. So danger sense is one of those things that I actually feel pretty much takes care of a lot of different things that you might be concerned with regard to having a high perception or a high investigation, or even having feats like alert or observant. So it does help a lot with regard to that, which is why those feats are probably less useful to you, because you have danger sense. Okay, I'm going to finish up there, and if you have any questions, start putting them in the chat right now. If you found this video or this presentation helpful or informative in any way, please share and like the video. If you aren't already subscribed and you find this sort of content helpful, please subscribe, hit the bell button. That'll notify you when I go live, and I'm live right now, and I'm often live, and when I publish a new video. If you want to support my channel, you did the first step. Just watching my video right now is supporting my channel, and I get a bit of AdSense revenue, helps me buy materials and equipment and stuff. I don't do Patreon, but down in the description, you know, those affiliate link things, you buy stuff online if you want to. I get a small commission, you pay exactly the same price, and you don't even have to buy the thing that I've linked to, which is super useful. I find that really, really impressive. Now, this is a good time to start asking questions before I leave in the live chat box. Otherwise, if you weren't able to be present for the live chat, down in the comments section, this is a good place to ask questions, give feedback, and tell me, did I get anything wrong? Is there something I should have added? What's your own feedback on danger sense? What do you think of it? I think it's actually a pretty impressive ability to have, particularly at second level. And yeah, I think that that says it all. And till next time, keep rolling those 20s.